All right, Yahoo Fantasy Auto Racing. We're going to take a look at Week 13 in the NASCAR circuit. The Coca-Cola 600, the longest race of the season from the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the mile-and-a-half track in Concord, North Carolina. The race winner in Week 13, Kurt Busch, picked up the victory. He had a dominating car all night long. He barely edged out number 2, Jamie McMurray. McMurray was the other dominant car all night long. And third this week was Kyle Busch. The overall points leader, still Kevin Harvick. He holds a 29-point lead over Kyle Busch. The race stories during the course of the race, Jimmie Johnson picked up another wreck. Very disappointing finish for Johnson. He has shown some mortality this past month or so, slipping in the standings and hurting people fantasy sports-wise as well. Denny Hamlin slipped up. He actually got caught up in a little bit of the Jimmie Johnson incident, and he wound up having a pretty poor finish after running really strong early in the race. Kyle Busch had a similar situation. He actually got into a pit road altercation with another car, picked up some damage, had to be back in the pack with Johnson and Hamlin, but he rallied. He was able to come home third overall, showed strong poise on the racetrack. Definitely didn't win any fans over there with some of his bully tactics to get back to the front, but third's third. Juan Pablo Montoya wrecked, the playoff contender from last season, still struggling mightily, probably too far behind the top 12 right now to really make a run, especially with the lack of momentum that team has right now. Another interesting note was McMurray wound up second. Jamie McMurray was second. His team owner, Chip Ganassi, won the Indy 500 earlier in the day with driver Dario Franchitti. So Ganassi was very close to pulling off the Memorial Day sweep. And Kurt Busch, by winning the Coke 600, he swept the All-Star race and the Coke 600 in back-to-back weeks. The All-Star race, of course, doesn't count for points, but it's important to note 7 times in the 25-plus year history of the All-Star race, 7 times the winner of the All-Star has gone on to win the 600. So keep that in your back pocket. Now, looking at how things shook out for the week winner was Lightning McQueen. He had 336 points this week. Fantastic week for McQueen. 3 drivers in the top 10. Kyle Busch, Ryan Newman, and Matt Kenseth. And A.J. Allmendinger was the second best C driver this week. He was 14th. So all 4 guys in the top 15 allowed Lightning McQueen to pick up the second victory of the season and move Lightning into second overall in the standings. Second this week was Hulk Smash, 311 points, 25 points out of first this week. Hulk Smash had Kyle Busch. In third place had David Rudiman in 5th, A.J. Allmendinger in 14th, and the sore spot this week, Martin Truex. He had a very strong qualifying effort, but Truex came home 23rd when all was said and done. Third this week was High, Wide, and Handsome, 281 points, 55 points out of first this week for a third place finish. Same roster as Hulk Smash with the exception of the A group. Hulk Smash went with Kyle Busch. High, Wide, and Handsome went with Denny Hamlin. As we said, Denny Hamlin had some struggles. Very disappointing finish, 18th. So when your A group driver doesn't get a top 10, that's always going to hurt the cause. Greek Thunder picked up a top 5 this week. Greek Thunder was 4th, 257 points, 79 points out of first. Greek Thunder had all drivers between 11th and 17th. Had Harvick in 11th, Edwards in 16th from Group A. Casey Kane was 12th, and Group C, Sam Hornish had a decent finish finally, 17th out of the C group. So Greek Thunder had a very respectable 4th place this week. And rounding out the top 5 was Oh No, a Blowout, 228 points for the week. 108 points out of first. Definitely wasn't in touch with first place, but a top 5 nonetheless. Best driver for Blowout this week was Paul Menard out of the C group. Menard was the highest finishing C driver this week, 8th place. Also had Matt Kenseth in 10th. And Jeff Burton, he actually was running top 10 until he got into a little bit of an incident with Kyle Busch. Wound up coming home 25th when all was said and done, and then started Jimmie Johnson in Group A, and Johnson wrecking out. As we'll take a look here, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th this week all started Johnson, so that was the one common factor between the teams that rounded out the standings this week. 6th this week was Team Edwards, the driver, 214 points, 122 out of first. Best driver was David Rudiman in 5th, but no other driver in the top 20. Dale Earnhardt Jr. 22nd, Robbie Gordon out of Group C was 33rd, and Jimmie Johnson was started in Group A, 37th there. Seventh this week was the Wall Always Wins, 186 points, 150 out of first. Definitely didn't keep touch with the leaders this week. Best driver was Kevin Harvick in 11th. No other drivers in the top 20. David Reagan out of Group B was 24th. Group C, Casey Mears filling in for Brian Vickers, 29th, and also started Jimmy Johnson. And 8th this week was Whoa, a Left Turn, 160 points this week, 176 out of first, so Whoa was way out of touch this week. Highest finishing driver was Dale Earnhardt Jr. in 22nd. Earnhardt Jr. led some laps late in the race, but that was only on pit strategy. Was never really in contention for most of the day. Jeff Burton in 25th, Scott Speed in 30th, and Jimmy Johnson in 37th. So that team, Whoa, a Left Turn, definitely struggled. And as we've mentioned in the last few weeks, Stewart Sucks Kane rules. No points again. Did not set the lineup. Lost another 336 points. Next week, we're going to be heading to Pocono. Week 14 action in Pocono. The Gillette Fusion Pro Glide 500. The pool locks Friday at 2 a.m. Your starters are going to lock at 10:18 a.m. next Sunday. In the overall standings, in case you're wondering, not much of a change with the exception of Lightning McQueen moving from third to second, surpassing oh no, a blowout. The spring standings are what's going to come up on your main page. If you pull up the league page, just want to let everybody know. The spring standings are just for a segment of the season, but if you want to know where you're actually at, you're going to want to click on that full season tab to see where everybody is in the overall. Otherwise, thanks for playing. We're going to see everybody next week at Pocono for the 14th week of the NASCAR season.